Welcome to News Game Plus. I'm Dermie, and I'm here with the big, beautiful bastard himself, Aussie Man Reviews, New Game Plus executive producer Jason A. Callahan.
You are very good at finding those points and just pressing on them, then continuing to press on them. Yes, I'll give you that one.
Most people have a much better sense of self preservation.
No, I mean, speaking of self-preservation, I think it's time for everyone to make a deal with America to just end up in New York drug courts, right?
I'm just gonna carry orange jammies with me everywhere, just for the day it happens.
I,
Because
I think we're about to live in a world where Brazil has nuclear weapons because I don't think there's a reason not to have them anymore.
I would race. I would race. I would get them as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, just and yeah. Anyway, it's another story. We talk like there's like 0.05 seconds to go there because you didn't want to talk about being recognized. I said at the end of the last podcast, we're at the airport and some lady comes up and goes, "Hey, you Aussie man?" And I thought that's weird because he is an Aussie man.
I am an Aussie man.
Yeah, we're at the airport.
That was what she asked. That was actually what I thought she asked me.
And then she's like, "Oh, yeah, from Aussie Man Reviews," and you were so annoyed.
Yeah.
It was like she said, "Are you Lewis Spears?" Right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was like
I
it's so,
consider them that Neil Kohaktar and all those people. I just find them fucking.
Neil's funny.
Nah, they're about as funny as bowel cancer. Like it's like fetid bowel tissue.
What's your
is
problem?
funnier.
What's your problem with cancer?
I've already had it. I can't get it again. It's not a problem for me.
So, what is it like? Oh, okay, it's one way. Is it immunity?
Yeah, it's like
the
chickenpox.
Americans think measles.
Yeah, it's like chickenpox. Yeah, well, it was funny. It wasn't even RFK who said it. Like, oh, it just build up everyone's immunity to measles. It's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that with measles. Measles resets your immunity.
I still think Trump missed a golden opportunity to put RFK in charge of the CIA.
I imagine that.
Let him wander down to the archives.
Find out about how his old man got shot. Yeah, and his uncle. Yeah,
I mean, he's basically said it. But yeah. So anyway, do you want to do some gaming stuff?
Sure.
Because I've got a few things. I've been doing a little bit of reading into some stuff. So I'm going to start with, now we touched on this last podcast, the Ubisoft hack, which apparently now is totaling trillions of dollars worth of stuff given away to players. So that's bad. There's been no more news about the ransom, but I did look into this Mongo bleed.
Yes. Well, I mean, that is the angle that you can probably appreciate the most.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it is sort of my thing. Now this is cool because look, I remember back in the old days, I think it was Internet Explorer, you could URLs were assumed to be 256 characters, and if you sent more than that, it would run it.
Yeah,
as if it's code, right? So that's an overflow attack. Now, the Mongo bleed is not dissimilar, and in fact, also Mongo bleed. This impacts every company using Mongo, and it's not an obscure database by any measure. It's not quite MariaSQL, MariaDB or MySQL or anything. Anyway, so what they did, it's an overflow again. Basically, you send too much in the request and you get back an error message, which gives a little bit of details about the error. Now, a little bit of details, I don't know if you've ever seen error messages. Sometimes I'll show a little bit of code either side or something, right? So anyway, this is quite clever. What they decided, the people who made the hack decided to do, because each error message had a tiny little bit of details about the database in it, they basically found out also you can run thousands of those requests per second to a MongoDB. It wouldn't throttle them. You're basically making a jigsaw of the database.
Right. Okay.
So you would just go pumping it full of errors. You would get all these very helpful, nice little error messages back, and you could build them into a copy of the database.
Gotcha. Right.
That's a good hack. That's a good hack. Now,
that's a bit old school, really, in the grand scheme of things.
It actually is. Yep. Yeah. So now there's like 5 hacker groups that come forward and claiming responsibility. I reckon they're 5 people.
Yeah. Literally individual guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're arguing over who is the most, but it's a good hack. It's actually quite clever because yes, you do get little bits of messages back. Often when you see an error, you'll get a little bit of information. And yeah, so they basically found they could overflow it, cause errors, send tons and tons of these requests, and make a jigsaw of the database. Now, this is also something that other companies are probably being hit by, but they don't know yet. or they haven't
Mm.
said yet. So
Well, it
the
will be interesting to see what the ramifications of this are, because surely there is going to be other like people with this same attack vector available to other.
MongoDB, like I said, it's not obscure by any means.
No,
It's a lot of MongoDB databases out there. So yes, anyway, that's a good hack. I kind of like that. It's like it tickles my little fancy. So
yeah.
because I mean, um,
That is in no way an admission of guilt, by the way. Yeah, for any lawyers listening, yeah, yeah,
well, yeah, no. Well, see, back at Deacon, I remember one of the ones I discovered was the mail spool was full of everybody's mail files, but it was owned by that person with permissions set up in Unix permissions, so nobody else could read it.
right,
But I discovered one night at about, it was about 4 a.m. that if you delete a person's mail spool file, which was a username, and then you send the mail, it would recreate the file again. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Oh shit, it's recreated it right. And I had a look at it as me. I thought, oh, that's bad. But then I also noticed that I could change it. I could actually put a file there of my own and set the permissions. And when I sent another email again, it reset everything so it looked like it was them. But I still had read write permissions to that file.
nice, nice.
So every lecturer, everybody there suddenly had read to everybody mail. They didn't like that, but they got me for sending naughty emails. 'Cause
Nice.
it's like how they got they don't get you for what you do. Anyway, that's
Yeah, 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 yeah,
digressing a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Any of my friends from Deacon listening, they'll know what I'm talking about. It was good times.
Yeah, right.
It's one of several little things we found. So this MongoDB thing that just tickles my fancy a little bit because
Very cool.
I appreciate a good old school, especially an overflow hack like that.
Yeah, well, it does. It reminds me a lot of the old stuff I used to hear, like when I was fucking around with PHPs and stuff like that. Like it's just these weird quirks of how the actual system itself reports, and then exploiting that hack. I mean, that's how most of it is. It's just finding those kind of little crevices that you can actually break through, and then slip the crowbar in and open it up.
Just finding edge cases or something is just the hackers that find root exploits to consoles are a lot cleverer, a lot more cleverer. What they're full of clever.
Full of clever. There's
They're a
much
lot better
clever.
because
Wow,
they,
such clever.
they do stuff like measuring voltages on boards and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
So they're a little bit smart, but I like an old school hack, and that's a good one. So well done to the MongoDB hackers. I
Well,
do not endorse,
yeah, yeah. I'll say.
but
I think it's time for the disclaimer. Really,
but
yeah.
I do appreciate a good hack. So anyway, moving on from there on hacks, let's talk Sony because somebody else got done
Yes.
over Christmas, New Year, not just Ubisoft. And now Ubisoft has suffered a lot of very instant damage from this. Sony's damage is going to come along over the next couple of months, I'd say. So around Christmas or thereabouts, the root keys for Sony's boot ROMs got leaked. Now, anybody wondering what they are? The firmware or kind of like I suppose BIOS. Would you call it BIOS?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
comparable to BIOS, I would say more than
yeah.
anything. Yeah,
And the firmware, basically what boots up the console, it's
yeah,
encrypted,
yeah.
right? Now you have to,
It's literally the first thing the chip activates when it turns on. The same
yeah,
way when you turn on like an Intel chip inside your PC, the BIOS is the first thing that actually starts up.
yeah, it checks all the hardware,
Yeah,
make sure everything's as it should be, and that yeah, make sure it's all proper, authorized, things plugged into it. That it does all that. Anyway, but it needs to know how to decrypt it because it's encrypted, so you can't just start frigging with it.
yeah,
But so what they do is they store the keys in a chip on the motherboard,
yeah.
so that the console itself grabs the decryption keys and it can then run it. It can grab it, load it, decrypt it, run it. Now, what happened is those keys are what got leaked on the internet around Christmas or
So,
thereabouts.
so when we say leaked, were they hacked from an existing console, or did someone at Sony drop the ball big time?
That I don't know. I look. I don't know. I can't see. I can't see that being an inside job. Like
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure some things are inside jobs, but I can't see
yeah,
that being an inside job. Yeah. Look, but on the other hand, working out decryption keys is a really hard work. That's why they put so much money into quantum computing. Because
yeah.
did you know quantum computing only has one real use?
Decrypting stuff,
Finding
breaking
out
encrypted. Yeah,
their keys of
yeah,
encryption. It's only really, but they keep going. Oh, they do it like um your
yeah,
little friend in there. They do it like the what do you call it? Like AI. You know how Sam Altman's or Scam Altman.
yeah.
I'll agree with Elon on this one. Scam Altman. he's promising AI is going to cure cancer, solve climate change. But I mean, we're getting porn bots. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's call it what it is.
Between
Yeah.
our gambling and watching ads, we're getting porn bots. But see, quantum computing promised all that as well. But really, the only real use of quantum computing is breaking encryption.
Yeah.
Which is why China and America were just going
And they're
hell
so
for leather.
desperate to get it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing, they've saved everything in their
Yeah.
data centers, right? So all they have to do is work out the encryption. They can just go through every historical bit of their opposition's encrypted data.
Yeah.
So, so that's why that was famous. Anyway, where do I go with this quantum computing? Oh yeah, so breaking a key is actually a lot of work because the idea is they make the key strong enough so that the amount of time you would require using current
Would literally take hundreds of
technology.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so it's because like some military grade encryption they call it military grade, but it's only designed to last for a few minutes because by that time the person on the other side's blown up.
Yeah.
Right. So all encryption is basically you're trying to make sure that it's not decrypted in an amount of time that is useful to who you're
Yeah.
hiding it
Again,
from.
to be used against you, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So anyway, where's it going? So yeah, so the boot keys now what happens if now that the Sony root keys are out? It allows decrypting of the firmware and how it boots up and all the commands it runs. The thing that enables now is you can now intercept the firmware and you can inject what's normally called custom firmware. Anybody with a PSP will know
What custom
what that
firmware?
is.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So now that's not, as far as I know, that's not happened yet. But custom firmware will be on its way.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah. Yeah.
people out there that will be making it, so you can expect that. I reckon you can expect that first half of this year.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to take them particularly long.
Now it's very if you've got a PS5 now, because the keys can't be changed. The keys are on the motherboard. The only way you can change it is to ask every PS5 user to bring their PS5 into a Sony place and
And then
replace the
replay.
motherboard.
Yeah, I was going to
Right?
say. Yeah.
It's not going to happen. They're not going to spend the money. It's not quite Red Ring of Death sort of thing because that costs billions
Mm,
of dollars for
it
Microsoft,
did.
but is a big deal. They're going to try and patch it with new system software, no doubt, because they can't do it through hardware. It's
Yeah.
locked in. But of course, if you're going to install custom firmware, you can just bypass that system
Well,
software
eventually, I
anyway.
mean, because everything has to go through that initial set of instructions from the root key, from the root key,
Yeah,
basically. So.
you just don't. Yeah, you just go into custom firmware. You're not even going to do the check, so it doesn't matter. If you've got a PS5 now, it's probably going to be worth a bit of money soon.
Yeah. So yeah, if
So
you've got that spare PS5 sitting there, maybe don't put it online for a while.
yeah, don't sell it. Don't sell it on eBay. Could be worth a bit. Now the I was going to say one other thing. Yeah, it basically can't be changed. I wrote another note there. Basically, wrote several times so that I'd remember it. So
Yeah,
that's,
just
that's
in case.
it's
If you do, I
locked
mean,
in. It's locked
can't even
in.
remember what. Yeah.
So anyway, great news for Sony.
Yeah, yeah. So Merry Christmas to everyone, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah, it was about that's two big hacks. To not no start the year, end the year, but start the year.
yeah,
Two significant developments, and yeah, the Sony one's going to be bigger because the custom firmware on the Wii U and the 3DS now they've got a complete copy of the Nintendo eStore that you can just download anything you want and play it.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, Sony's lawyers are probably ramping up right now. They're
yeah,
probably
yeah,
getting the biggest funding of the whole thing, so yeah, they'll be ready to go. It happened on the Switch, didn't it?
yeah. Because they had like a physical key on the and every time the firmware used it, it was a whole process with it, specifically like the Tegra X1 chip. There was, I mean, obviously it's not my realm, but I remember reading about how it's specifically baked in so in depth into the actual hardware that yeah, it was time for the Switch 2 anyway. I mean, I would argue that was probably part of why the OLED came out. I'm sure they got rumblings that it was happening. So yeah,
Absolutely would have been, and it's one of the reasons why the Xbox 360 has taken a long time to hack because I'm sure I read somewhere they had several,
yeah,
because they had encryption in several parts of
yeah.
the motherboard.
And they had it on the disk drive itself. So each disk
Yeah.
drive was married to the motherboard itself, and that was the hard part, which you had to clone the ID of the disk drive to work with the specific unit that you had in that point.
Hmm. Yeah. So anyway, good luck, Sony.
Yeah,
Let's see what we got here. Now NVidia. Look, for a company that made its money off gamers, because NVIDIA wouldn't exist without
No.
gamers. Like, yeah,
And it was gamers, then it was crypto miners, and now it's AI.
but prior to crypto miners, remember NVIDIA had SLI, and
Yeah.
yeah, they were really the shit. They were so good.
Yeah.
You wanted at least a dual graphics card set. And then they
Yeah,
got
yeah.
rid of all that. Anyway, so now they appear to hate gamers. Now they brought out a thing. I don't know if you heard of this, Nitrogen Gaming AI.
Oh, it sounds awful already.
Okay, because it's got AI in it. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Excuse me, and clear my throat. It plays video games using AI.
We're off to a bad start. We're off to a
Okay.
real bad start.
It gets better. The AI that it plays video games with has been taught by YouTube videos of gaming,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, good. Like if you're playing the one taught by PewDiePie,
Yeah.
a few N words around. So, okay, here's the problem. It's not code.
Right.
It uses the pixels on the screen. It responds to where the pixels are on the screen. So it matches what it's seeing.
So it's just it's an LLM, but for pictures. That's such a weird.
Basically, yeah, because all these AI things are really just statistics and probability.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not.
What are you gonna? What would this person say next in this situation?
They're not getting general AI. That's never happened. And all the mathematicians you see comment on it say it can't do maths. It's never going to do physics. Like, calm down, right? But anyway, so but it'll neatly summarize what you got. Now, I find I use AI now more and more in coding, right?
Yeah.
Which it won't make me a hypocrite because it's filling the purpose of what Google should have been as a search engine.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Because Google just dropped the ball as a search engine.
Well, they don't actually want that business. Like, I mean, we can go in an alphabet agency all you want.
No,
but it's not even about that. Like, yeah.
Nobody wants that business now. They want the business of because did you know Texas building? They're going to have one data center soon for every 35,000 people in Texas.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That is more data centers per population than hospitals.
And Texas is also a desert state. So, like, where are they getting the fresh water
It's
to
cheap
cool
land.
it?
You know, I would love to see an investigation into who owned all the land that they sold these data centers, because I wouldn't die shocked if it was somebody
Alamo or
that,
something.
pops up.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, or rhymes with rump.
Yeah.
I mean, or actually no, it rhymes with Ushna.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
It's the prince.
Let's call a spade, yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't die shocked if that. But anyway, so Texas now it's one data center per 35,000 people. That's enough to manage those people.
Yeah.
So if they had, say, a social credit score, that's about enough.
Yeah, right.
I'm just putting that out there. So anyway, so this NVIDIA cheating AI, anti-cheat software can't detect it because it's not running on the computer. You can't find out what's going on.
Well, it's not an actual process in the system, right? Like, yeah.
It's detecting the pixels on the screen and responding as you would to those pixels on the screen. There's another AI. I can't remember some monitor company is introducing an AI that will detect a mini map in the corner of a screen. Say if you're playing Dota, and it will warn you if certain things go into certain regions.
Right.
So little things like that. Now that's not really cheating, but that's kind of a handy assist. But yeah, so in NVIDIA right now kind of hates gamers.
Yeah.
I mean, the gamers made them what they are, and then they said, "Nah, you know what? Crypto miners, we like them, and now we're elevating."
Just trying to redefine gaming in a way that is specifically designed against the people who kind of put them where they are. Like, let's call a spade, right?
You're leading in my next story, and I know you didn't cheat because I turned over the page.
Right.
So, I believe right now they are reshaping the battlefield, so to speak, like the US did in Fallujah. They said they were reshaping the battlefield to make the battles more not beneficial, but more suited to them.
Yeah.
You're seeing. Okay, I'm going to go with it. This is a little tinfoil hat, but I've got to throw it in here. I've been looking into the RAM's gone up, right? Everyone knows RAM's gone up. I went to buy my son another 32 gig of RAM for his gaming PC before Christmas.
Yeah.
Around March, I think I bought him a PC. It was
it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't a year ago.
Yes, it was not even a year ago. Before $139 for 32 gig of RAM. It was good RAM.
Yeah, nice. Yes, that's very cool. Very cool.
Then I looked at Christmas, 540, and then I looked again the other day, 800. So, and also, GPUs apparently about to shoot up.
Have you seen? Is this part of NVIDIA now talking about restarting their 3060 production?
Again, you didn't cheat because I got this listed here. And not only is NVIDIA looking at restarting RTX 3060, which is good because I got one of them. So I'm not out of date now. I've got a current graphics card. Asus is going to start reintroducing motherboards with DDR4 slots.
Nice,
So
nice.
basically, since all the DDR5s bought up, they've just said, "Oh, just make DDR4." So DDR4 will be short soon, anyway, because of the gamers. Um, anyway,
Well, look, it part of me, it sounds awful to say. I think it's good for the wrong reasons. In the sense that, I mean, I've always hated the mustard race, arms racy side of video games. I mean, games there to be enjoyed, and I mean, this is always those old days of like emotion engine chips and cell technologies and all these bespoke chips, right? They all were their own custom fabs and stuff like that, and it would have cost them more in the grand scheme of things, right? But this is why they were pretty unassailable when it came to they were never affected by hardware shortages in that same way. Like a graphics card shortage ain't going to matter because they've got custom bespoke graphics cards, and that's still true to consoles to an extent. But if those fabrications for RAM and stuff are being used for AI, they're not going to be available to be used for consoles. But I've always hated the console arms race. I don't think I don't know. What do we gain from games looking any better than they currently do? Like,
well,
I think the gains on art styles and stuff has hit that point.
well, I'd argue they don't look better
No, I
because
would I would
I
say,
think
yeah.
graphics peaked in 2014, right?
I
They
think
look
that's a little early, but I understand where you're coming
they
from. Yeah,
I don't think they look a lot better now, but
yeah.
that could be the skill that's left the industry because
I
they
think
keep
that
turning people over.
that is more than anything I would say is
Um,
the correct answer,
I'm waiting for the shortage of CPUs because
which is coming next. I mean,
oh
we've got
yeah,
the RAM one, so yeah,
I think it's guaranteed. They're setting us up. Now a lot of server motherboards have dual CPU slots.
that's true.
So you can't tell me that we're running out of SSDs, RAM, and GPUs, but not CPUs,
Yeah,
right? So that's
for
got
sure.
to be the next thing. Now I'm gonna make a call here. Now, let me say, Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft, they don't go down to the shop.
No,
They don't go to Scorptech or M-Wave or whatever and just buy some RAM to make 100,000 PlayStation 5s, right?
no, not how it works.
They do these orders years in advance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of supply chain planning that goes into it. So they would have known this is coming. And they've been raising the prices of their consoles for the last 12 months.
And people were wondering why they were doing it, wondering if it was a tariff reaction, if it was whatever. And now we kind of know what it
Well,
was.
so it can't be a tariff reaction if you're not in America.
That's
They're
true.
doing it
Well,
here, right?
I mean, that was always the thing. Are we subsidizing America? Was always the question. Is the rest of the world subsidizing?
They were getting
America?
ready.
Yeah.
Right now, I think that I'm going to call some shenanigans because
Here we go.
yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going tinfoil hat. So get ready for this.
For the first time, he doesn't usually do this.
Big hello to my friend Michael. So anyway, so tinfoil hat time. All right. Now, NVidia has a cloud gaming service.
Yes.
Microsoft has a cloud gaming service.
So they're going to kick us off having our own hardware and make it a subscription-based streaming thing.
Nintendo has a console. Sony has a console. They'd rather you had the consoles. I think I know the talks about OpenAI. I know the talks about those. I can't escape when the Steam machine was going to come out, it was going to destroy Microsoft's console business. It was going to basically be the next generation of consoles, even though I hate generation as a console term. It was going to be massive. All of a sudden, this will have put the brakes on.
Yes.
Because they can't afford to increase the price by $400 just for RAM.
Yeah.
Right. And sure, they'll be able to do some deals. They won't be able to do the same deals as Sony and Nintendo
No,
are
of course
doing,
not.
right?
Not on that scale.
So now they all knew in advance. So to me, this smells like a lot of. Obviously, sometimes there's overlapping motivations going on, but I think a big motivation with what's happening in gaming right now is kill Steam, kill Valve, kill Steam. Right? Microsoft never got it. They don't. They're a big player in the AI space. They're going to be very responsible for a lot of what's going on in the AI. This is very convenient to them.
Yeah.
They also want everybody because they've just announced that Game Pass is coming to Hisense TVs next. It's already on Samsung TVs. Yeah. Next is Hisense. So they're going TV brand by TV brand, adding Game Pass. They're Xboxes, right?
Yeah. So this is an Xbox that.
So two of the big.
We've always known they've been trying to push for that anyway.
Two of the big AI players, NVIDIA and Microsoft, both have cloud gaming services.
Yeah.
And Steam was going to disrupt both of them.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening now is they knew in advance, they were getting ready.
It
And
explains why they've been passing the same kind of $100 billion around to each other, right? Like, yeah.
Steam's just one of them. There'll be others. Now, if you said to me, "Dude, that sounds outlandish, Jared," would a US corporation or group of corporations collude to try and
Yeah.
destroy their major competitor in an industry worth $16 billion a year?
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought, right?
Would,
Like,
would they would they would they invade a country
is
just to take some oil so that somebody else couldn't have it? Fuck
he's
yeah,
he's
it's
he's
American business.
his News Game Plus's next contention is Gabe Newell, video gaming Salvador Allende.
Oh, the real 9/11.
And there's all the American
Go,
listeners gone.
Google it, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's all the Americans gone.
yeah. I don't know. We have a lot of listeners from America. I got no idea how because I keep bagging them. I'll call up and
I mean, it's around. How to get look?
like
I think it always is worth clarifying. As much as we like, I've met plenty of nice Americans in my life, but they're also the ones who recognize the hypocrisy of American cultural hegemony and empire. You know what I mean?
there's a good quote by Gandhi. Not that Gandhi was a tremendous person. He was a little bit racist in his own
To
way.
lower themselves to
Yeah.
the level of animals and
Nah, I don't mind your Christianity. But no, I don't mind you Christians, some, but I really don't like your Christianity.
it's the other way
It's the
around,
other way
isn't
around,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you can like a group or an individuals or the other way around. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't fit exactly here. Probably a lot of lovely people, but as a culture, it's rancid. But
Yeah.
anyway, see how they're cheering right now. Anyway, so anyway, so I
It has been interesting to see the bots out on Reddit, sticking up for getting rid of Maduro because suddenly that was something that needed to be done, and blah blah blah.
AI generated videos,
Yeah.
which the current administration is making heavy use of AI for that. Anyway, so where was I? So anyway, I think this whole increase of RAM prices next to CPU and a target is Steam.
I mean, it's a lot of effort
they
to get
do
rid of
not want you on
one.
there.
Yeah, I guess because realistically, if Steam finally did hit that exposure level of, say, Nintendo or something like that, like Microsoft can just kiss itself
Steam
goodbye.
machine was going to be massive.
Yeah.
I think the market was waiting for it. I think it was ready.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that saved. I know. Actually, you know what? Gabe doesn't really have a governor general.
Yeah.
So, he's just hiding out in his yacht.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
There's no John Kerr on the Gaben yacht.
yeah, no, there are. I look, and there's overlapping interests, obviously, but I think that's a big one. And NVidia and Microsoft are two of the biggest AI players, and Steam is a thorn in both their sides.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I get you.
Okie dokie, let's back Microsoft again. I love it because we've turned in the
Good,
backing
good old micro slop. Yeah.
Oh yes, there was a Satya.
Yeah. Such a.
Yeah. But they just renamed. I think they did some.
They renamed Office the Microsoft Copilot AI or something like 365 Copilot AI.
Okay. A big reason for that is they always quote numbers of AI users. They always say there's 800 million people worldwide using AI, but they're not voluntarily using it.
No, it's part of a program that they like. It'd be like saying a Premiere Pro user is doing it because Premiere Pro has AI audio tools or something like that.
So some manager at Microsoft now it will be able to get a bonus because he just added 400 million AI users, right?
And considering the ACCC's case against, you know about that, don't you? The ACCC has taken Microsoft to court in Australia based on the fact that they wouldn't let people. There was a hidden option when they were renewing their subscriptions that were
Office 365.
Yeah, you could cancel it. You could use the AI assisted one cheaper, or there was a third option to use the traditional Office that you already had, but it was a hidden option and it was considered anti-consumer. And now they're potentially on the hook for like $3,000 a person or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, is that? Oh, because I that'll cover my subscription.
Yeah.
Office by a bit, and my Game Pass as well. So,
yeah, I told you about no, I shouldn't say it on the thing. My game price.
I described how I hacked Deacon Uni.
My game pass.
You might as well come to jail.
My game pass price is bugged. I've got full Game Pass and I get it for $17.99 a month, and I don't question it. So I don't know whether it's because I've done promo work in the past and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't question it. I just get it cheap.
It's their responsibility to.
That's what I mean. That's my logic on it, right? Is like, yeah, it's if they're still offering me a product, I've entered into it in good faith. I continue to pay my money every month, and yeah, that's why I have it. That's why I was going to cancel it. Then I keep saying, once a month it'll come out $17.99. I'm like, I'm not going to question that.
Oh well, I mean, it's not like when you were getting it for $1 for a couple of
I
years.
mean, I only ran out of my 3 years not long ago, right? So, yeah.
We were telling
Apparently,
people
you
how to
can
do it.
still do it. There's ways and means to still get gold,
We'll
and
give you
it's
instructions to do that on stream. What are you
that's
worried about
true.
this one
That's
for?
true. Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, excuse me, clear my throat again. Here we go. It is yeah, I'm going to shit on Microsoft again. There's been a new hire for Minecraft. So is that right?
Here you go. Your favorite game, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's really a it's a good example of mismanagement. It's buggy as hell at the moment. But anyway, they've just appointed a quote head of vanilla Minecraft. That's the title. It's a new title. Nobody's been replaced or gotten rid of.
Right, so this is non-modded Minecraft. Is
Yeah,
that what I mean by
they call it
vanilla? Yeah.
vanilla Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lady called Katie Scott.
Okay.
Anyway, congratulations, Katie. It sounds like a plum job. She's from EA and Ubisoft
Oh, we're off to a
previously.
bad start. We're off to a bad
She
start.
used to work at EA. She used to work on FIFA.
Oh, nice. Here it
And she
comes.
started as a creative, so that's good. But then she moved into management, and she was head of microtransactions at EA,
There it is.
working on
There it
FIFA.
is.
She was also, when she was Ubisoft, she was in charge of monetization.
There it is. So
Well,
how are they gonna monetize Minecraft? Like,
or whatever they want to do. They can do the Roblox thing and add dating and
yeah,
gambling,
yeah.
and just open it up to pedos.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's just yeah. Who needs the Epstein list? Just install Roblox, right? Like,
But
yeah.
brand new position from a lady who used to do monetization and microtransactions does not bode well for the future of Minecraft Bedrock.
Yikes.
It really doesn't. There's also a rumor that they are desperate to get Java servers onto a Realms type setup that
Gotcha.
they run,
So they can control it there.
so that they're in control. Yeah, because I mean, the reason they haven't yet is because Java Minecraft's so big. People
Yes.
don't realize how big Java Minecraft is. All the servers and that.
Yeah.
So,
And that's where a lot of the mods come from, is the fact that Java is such an accessible kind of language. You know, I mean, people know how to code in Java, so that's why the mod scene is quite as big as it is.
I would be, if I worked at Mojang, I would be embarrassed every day I turned up to work knowing that there are modders out there in their free time, when they're supposed to be doing their homework, who are making better add-ons to Minecraft than 640 Mojang
Yeah, it's pretty
staff can
bad.
do.
It's pretty bad.
I would be embarrassed by that. I mean, I hate it when I load up someone's website and it's better than one I do, and I go, oh, fuck, I've got to learn how to do that now.
But, well, that's the thing. If
I
you
don't-
use it as a motivation to learn how to be better at your job, it's a different conversation, right?
Mojang clearly don't. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, they barely can fix a bug at the moment. But anyway, so this new what was her name again? Katie Scott. Welcome to Minecraft. Or Mojang, but head of microtransactions and monetization at two of the scummiest companies in history
Nice.
previously.
Nice.
Not a good sign for Minecraft. In fact, it's going to be really sad when when Microsoft is finished with Minecraft and go in the direction they're going. They will have destroyed two of the top 5 gaming franchises in history, in Halo, and Minecraft. That is quite an achievement.
You can say what you want about Fort, but I'll make Tim smart enough to just let them do their thing, right?
No, Fortnite's well managed.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. Every so often I'll have a look at it. I played it early on, and I got 5th once in a game, but mostly by hiding. Somebody shot me as a bull.
Nice,
It's really
yeah.
annoyed me.
It's a legitimate strategy, yeah.
So, yeah. But I couldn't hide anymore, and they got me. But no, so I tried it when it first came out. It's not my cup of tea. I hated Apex Legends. I tried to play that. It just didn't work for me at all.
Too fast for you.
Probably it could be it, but there should be old man battle royales where we wander around in our little Zimmer.
One that World
Zimmer
of Tanks, like,
frames.
the World of Tanks is like that.
That's true, actually, and the World of Warships one. They're probably played by over 50s exclusively.
And Russians, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, where was I going with that? So, yeah, Fortnite is it's well managed and it's a good product. I'll give it that. It really is. But yeah, Minecraft is being look, there's bad signs. It's already buggy. Bedrock.
Well, and one could argue even Overwatch is. I mean, they've finally kind of steadied the ship a bit now, but in the face of Marvel Rivals, Overwatch is not in a great place.
Overwatch, yeah, well, that was I mean, there's a lot of effort to go to
That
just
was
that.
that was a New Game Plus Game of the Year, I think, 2018. So
Yeah, and I remember when Shaney was complaining that he reckoned it was because of Harambe in the Game of
because
the
you had
Year
Winston, yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah.
It was all sad.
Well, I mean, I actually did that
And
segment with.
Shaney being sad.
Oh yeah, I know, right? And so it's a break for him.
Yeah,
No, I did that segment with him, and we were
yeah,
both
I remember
surprised.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was our game of the year, unfortunately, but it was just yeah, it was like
That is another example of tremendous mismanagement. Because remember, Overwatch had at one point leagues. They were going to have leagues all over the world.
yeah.
They're franchised for like
That
$20 million.
was there was more than that. It was like
Um,
100 million, wasn't it? It was
oh, okay.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they had big plans, and you know what? I admire the plans, and I'd really like to see stuff like that happen.
I would say the big problem with Overwatch, and this is true of a lot of these kind of esports at the moment, is they are bad games to spectate. You can say what you want about Dota, but Dota's pretty clear on what's happening. You can see what's happening on the map. It's not that hard to explain to people what the idea is. Whereas, and even League to an extent, but I think with Overwatch, there's just too much stuff going on. Same with Rivals, it's too much stuff going on. Spectating Marvel Rivals is very hard to do.
Yeah, and
Compared to like a CS:GO where it's more straightforward. Yeah.
yeah. Well, look, the plans. Look, I'd like to see it happen as a thing, but I mean, not with these. Remember they had the gamer houses where they
Yeah,
tried
I mean, that was yeah.
that was just trying to exploit people,
Yeah, for sure.
allegedly. But yes. Anyway, so yeah, yeah. Anyway, good luck, Minecraft. Where was that? Fortnite's well run.
Yeah.
Okay, I had one last one. We're running away. Have we not been talking enough
No, you
about
cut me off about
America?
Vuvuzela, so yeah.
Yeah, what? Remember the
I
Vuvuzelas?
remember.
Yeah,
What if I blew that plastic trumpet?
yeah. No, that was funny. There's one entire World Cup of brrr in the background.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, you got the new World Cup coming up. We got America in the draft. Do we have to give them the game? Like, do we have to, like, yeah.
yeah, well, that's why they want to do the 5 year social media stuff because they're just going to rifle through everybody that comes
Yeah.
to the World Cup.
Don't they watch like
Um,
genetic code or something like that as well?
Yeah, DNA and stuff. They it's basically going to be a massive census, and Palantir is no doubt going to be involved to try and map the relationships going back to the other countries. So
Yeah.
it's really just because Facebook, people don't realize Facebook was a 10-year online census, right?
Yeah.
And now they can't really do that anymore. It
No,
doesn't have
not the same way. Yeah.
yeah, so they want to do that sort of stuff anyway. That's again. Yeah, I should just wear a tinfoil hat permanently.
Yeah, yeah. That's
But you know,
true.
you can think of the wildest
So
conspiracy theories. They're normally true now.
well, with the weather we've got at the moment, the tinfoil hat might help throw the heat away and keep your heads from getting sunburnt.
Ah, really? Well, all my luscious hair doesn't do it. So- so-
Or toe talks.
okay, so Deus Ex Remaster. This is sad. Now, all the stuff I said so far is
Yeah.
positively happy and
Here we go.
jumping with joy compared to the next story. Deus Ex Remaster has been delayed and pre-orders have been cancelled and refunded.
Oh, that's not good. That's real not good.
Well, you're saying that's not a good sign.
I mean, a delay is a delay. Like people will still wait for GTA 6.
Yeah,
And
they
I mean,
could.
I wonder what GTA 6 is going to do in a world of no RAM.
They didn't even steal the money. That's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, that's true. What a world. But no, I think it's that's interesting that yeah, there was
GTA
pre-orders were
6.
cancelled. Yeah.
Yeah, well, GTA 6 was probably hoping there'd be new consoles.
Yeah, I think that's what they were waiting for
They're
originally.
probably
And
hoping.
then,
But they're not coming.
I mean,
Um,
they did the same thing. If you think of GTA 5, it was on Xbox One originally, and then they made a version for PS5, like a thing. Was it on 360 originally? I think it was on 360 originally, wasn't it? Then they made an Xbox One version, and
Yeah,
they
it
made
might be.
a Series S and PS5 version. So it's had multiple versions to do what it has to do.
Yeah, what they did with GTA 5 was spectacular. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I mean, I still rate it as a game. Yeah, I enjoy it. I did,
spectacular.
I did play GTA 4 again. I can't remember if it was early this year or late last year. And I did appreciate it on second playthrough more than I did first playthrough. I need to go through the DLC next, I think.
Weren't the remasters of GTA is really bad?
The original release of the San Andreas ones and stuff, yeah, they were, and then they fixed them a little bit, but
That's not a
they still look pretty low rent, yeah.
that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
They can't even remaster their own games.
I mean, it was just a cheap cash grab. It just goes to show you what modern rockstars become.
Well,
I
good
mean,
luck.
under Strauss, I mean, I'm sure people are making money off him, but yeah, he doesn't like spending money to make games.
I'm still gonna say GTA 6 is gonna be garbage, but anyway.
Yeah, I've got high hopes for it. I'm gonna lie, but I mean, I'll say that, and then I'll have to eat shit when it's actually good. But I don't know. What I've seen about Dan Houser and stuff like that. Like, obviously, he's gonna be talking up his own game, but yeah, I'm not particularly enthusiastic.
I had another Deus Ex thing.
Yeah.
Elias to Fixus.
Your mate.
I
Yeah.
think I can say his name now. That's good. I'm learning. He posted a thing on Twitter
Yeah.
of the don't read cheating. Of
I
the
can't
game.
read your writing anyway.
Yeah, and well, neither can I.
Yeah.
What's going on? Who wrote this? So he posted it was a four squares of the games he's working on. One of them I think was Perfect Dark, which has since been
Which has
announced
been
to not
cancelled.
happening.
Yeah.
So he's not having a good run. The other three were like placeholder images, and so people started guessing. Well, since you're Adam Jensen, clearly. Anyway, and he responded on Twitter X. I still call it Twitter. I'll always
Yeah. We'll just call it Twitter. Let's
yeah.
just be.
If
Let's
it
call
annoys Elon, it's even better. I mean, I like Elon, but no, I don't hate him. Sorry, but you know,
I'll say you like him. Jesus
it'll
Christ.
it'll annoy him. So,
Fuck Elmo.
so anyway, he actually responded, "No Deus Ex because this is a quote, right? I'm reading exactly what he wrote. No Deus Ex because the people in charge are psychopaths."
Nice. Nice. I mean, he's definitely mincing his words on that one, right? Like, yeah.
he must figure he's not getting back. But yeah, that's a good sign. I don't know who owns it now. Is it still Embracer or they sell it to someone else? Because
It's
they
a good
bought
question. Yeah,
that's
it's a good
that's a
question, actually.
Saudi.
Yeah.
Embracer was a Saudi group too.
Yeah, it was.
As
And
before
they were just buying
yeah. long.
Yeah, and had whatever it was that for, but
Yeah, we were worried about
yeah.
China and Tencent. And ended up Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia was buying all
Yeah.
the games. How about
Sure
that?
was, yeah. I mean, like, it really is no ethical consumption under capitalism at the moment, right? Like,
Well, that's
yeah.
Alana Pierce said in her what do you call it? A thing, a podcast or a vodcast or a video? She said that basically in video games, ethical consuming is right now impossible.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
you just can't do it.
Yeah.
Although I would argue buy indie games. There's a lot of indie games, and yeah, I reckon there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
you're in love with pressure washing and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Power
So,
wash.
whatever it is, yeah.
Which I was literally playing, and then I had a nap, and then we came to record this podcast. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually hung around for a little while.
Hades nuts as well, but I'm pretty sure that's there's epic money in that, so that's no ethical consumption there.
Yeah, well, I think that's Tencent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I ran out there. I was going to end in some Deus Ex things, and we didn't crap on enough today.
Yeah, we're actually running short, which is weird.
Yeah. So anyway, so does everyone get to go home early?
Yeah, I think maybe it does. Yeah, it's. I think that's probably the issue. Is that we know it's going to get hot, so I'm looking. I'm now my aircon, getting ready to move that into the room because I know tomorrow's going to be dreadful, and I know I'm going to need it. So I'm getting that ready in advance. So
when my daughter was born, soon after I built the house, I invested back then $7,000 in,
which is a lot of money back then.
in like 2004 on a refrigerative ducted cooling.
Very good.
And a couple of times I paid a couple of grand a time to repair it, and it is the best thing I ever bought.
It's the same things they put in like shopping centers and stuff. Yeah.
God. Oh, yes. Anyway, so enjoy the heat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got my unit over there. It just sounds like a fucking airplane taking off, but it does the job. I mean, it must be said we are hitting the kind of coming up towards mid-January, and we've had what 2 40-degree days. It's not bad.
Summer was late this year because it was the coldest Christmas, New Year I remember.
Yeah, it's a La Nina year, which it has been for a little bit.
They used to talk about that way more on the news.
Yeah, everyone used to say El Nino because everyone remembers El Nino because it's hot, but nobody really talks about the catastrophe the La Nina year brings. I mean, Thailand's flooded out, Indonesia's flooded out, like everywhere at the moment it's kind of cactus. It's almost like the climate is changing. So no one talks about La Nina because people don't associate water with a problem as much. I mean, realistically,
it's not a human right though.
Oh man, what do you work for?
But yeah, but we've got plenty of oil because
I mean we've got that now. That's good.
Burn all the oil to stay cool.
It is interesting. Look, let's do Vuvuzela quickly. Machado, I would say the worst recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, but Henry Kissinger got one, so she can't be the worst recipient of a Nobel Peace Prize.
No. It's like how Hitler was Time Man of the Year one.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair,
this year was AI.
To be fair though, Man of the Year was never meant to be the best Man of the Year. It's like the most talked about person, which to be fair would have been Hitler in certain years. You know what I mean? Like Trump got it as well for the same reason.
He had a bit of an influence.
Yeah.
But should you reward it?
Sure, but you're not adding the word peace to what he did. Like that's not Time's most peaceful man.
Yeah, well, a few people have pointed out on Twitter that they say well, the FIFA Peace Prize used to mean something.
True. But no, like Machado, apparently the inside leak is that because she didn't dedicate it, well, she dedicated it to Trump, but she didn't offer it to Trump. Like she didn't give him the physical medal. Like if you look at all these things that have happened at the White House, they have to give him the trophy. Like they have to give the
Yeah.
trophy away.
He's probably going to win the World Cup. You know.
Yeah, so I was going to
he's probably
say, whoever wins it is not taking it home. It's not going in luggage. You guys can just fly with like
Yeah,
with your carry-on baggage.
There's
Yeah.
that famous story of is it Robert Kraft who ran the Patriots,
Yes, I believe so.
and
Yeah.
he had a Super Bowl ring, and he met Putin, and Putin said, "Can I have a look at it?" And he did the thing on Simpsons, like
Yeah, I was going to say what ring? Yeah.
what ring? He walked off with it, and then Putin's security closed ranks and just let Putin walk away. We're not far off that with prizes.
I mean, yeah, it just,
peace prizes, FIFA prizes.
and that's the reason that it's Maduro's VP currently running Vuvuzela because the CIA considers that a better option, and
Okay.
Machado upset him.
I'm going to do it again. I'm going to put my hat on.
Here it goes. It's come back on.
There's something sus about that.
Yeah.
There's something sus. No anti-aircraft fire. You got helicopters. I get the electricity without.
I mean,
it's not like you plug your anti-aircraft guns into the power.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, Maduro's been trying to get out for a while. He had the writing on the wall. He knew, and so it's all theater. The people that they killed is all theater. That's why the Chinese were there. They knew, and the Chinese are still there. Apparently, the Chinese delegation's still there. So I think it's he wants to distract from the Epstein files. That's everything that's been doing at the moment. It's the Bannon fill the court with shit, right? That's the whole.
Well, he said they do 3 stupid things a day, and the media obsesses over them, and then you can do what you really
correct. Want. Yeah, exactly. And so that's part of it, but it's also Trump wants his Obama moment. He wants we got a Bin Laden moment, and the problem with it is like. I don't know. It's just that classic. What is it? The Don Roe doctrine they call it now. They don't even call it the Monroe doctrine now. The Don Roe doctorate.
Yeah,
doctrine.
See Lindsey Graham with a stiffy when they talked about getting Cuba.
I mean, he probably just saw a handsome boy walk past. But well, what is it? Ladybugs. All of his ladybugs. Gross. People can talk about handjob grandma all they want, but that's never going to be grosser than Lindsey Graham.
Nobody's allowed to insult handjob.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You weren't wondering who he's talking about. Just go back to the previous podcast.
Yeah. Jack's catching up on one from a couple of weeks ago while he's in Thailand, and we were talking about Japan, how Japan's complaining about foreigners, and it's like, go into a Japanese bar and bring up the Chinese to the Japanese and watch them carry on, and it's like, it's like. Jack was like, maybe say less, and I'm like, like I don't think it's a controversial take. Like it's definitely true. Like I don't know, it's the Japanese can be particularly problematic at times with stuff like that, especially when it comes to other East Asian countries.
They're a monoculture.
Yeah.
But also, as I've said before, they're the indigenous people of that land.
They're not technically. That's the thing.
Well,
right?
They're close enough.
Well, I mean, this is that conversation about indigenous. Like
were they promised the land 3,000 years ago or something?
So the Ainu people were already there. They were there before the people came from Korea and China. And then, I mean, it's the same thing with the Maori, right? The Maori have only been in New Zealand for 700 years, 800 years? I say only. But it's not like Australia where it's like 65,000 continuous years. You know what I mean? Like it's a different conversation. But it's interesting when you think of it in that context. It's it's nothing more than interesting. Like and how they're like it's the same conversation, and yet there is a different element to it when it's like 65,000 years versus 700. Right? It's like Mauritius. Mauritius was an uninhabited island before the French got there. The Dutch got there, and then the French took it over. So
but they used to think everywhere was uninhabited if it wasn't.
I mean, terra nullius, right? Like, I mean, that, and then we get onto that subject. But my moral story is, we have reasonably controversial takes, but I don't think anything we've said this podcast is particularly controversial. I wonder.
I do get comments on some of the stuff. Right.
Well,
I don't necessarily think it's too controversial. I throw things out there. I don't mind.
I just think Venezuela.
We're not cookers.
No. I think Venezuela is the modern version of American isolationism, and and similar to the Roosevelt Concorde.
I still
That
maintain.
includes Latin America, and so yeah, they're basically saying this is all ours. So if I was Carney, I wouldn't be particularly worried right now, but I would definitely be getting into a better concrete bunker.
I'd be worried if I was Saudi Arabia, and
Uh,
the reason being that
they're going
I
to cut
still
them
think
off, yeah.
it's
Well,
their exit
and
strategy
it's
for the Middle East.
interesting, right? And I would flip that and say that if you look at Qatar is going out of its way to be more involved with negotiations with Israel, with all these things, humanitarian aid, all of these things. They are trying to become that because the UAE is on the nose. Yemen's screwed. Kuwait has started like pushing its weight around again. The Saudis are trying to buy their way out of their potential irrelevance. Iran is literally like about to die of thirst. So, you know what I mean? Like it's such weird posturing at the moment. And then if America manages to go, well, we didn't even want the crude. I mean, they make money from the oil they get from the Middle East and stuff because it's a lighter version of oil. They get more, or they get more petrol from per liter of oil, if that makes sense. So they can when after they go through the process, there's more money made per barrel. That's why they don't like the heavy crude, but they've kept the heavy crude just in case they need it, right? And that's what America has, and that's what Vuvuzela has. So if they can secure energy security for their thing, if something does disrupt them, it just means they make less money for a change, and then they can still speculate all they want through OPEC, but then they get to keep their domestic supply.
And much like Syria, just watch all the countries. If you drew a line through all the countries with leaders that he doesn't like right now and he says need to be replaced, it's the same line you would have to do if you did an
A
overland
pipeline from Venezuela, yep.
from Venezuela to the US.
Cuba,
If
it's
you-
Colombia. You would need to have them
Colombia,
on,
Mexico,
Yeah.
you're going to see that.
because you're going through their territorial waters.
And so it's going to be, it's like Syria. The Syrian war with Assad was only about a pipeline. People
Yeah.
don't get that. It was purely a pipeline. That's
Yeah.
all it was.
Well, it is
you're gonna
interesting.
see it in-
It is interesting to see the UK and France bombing Syria now because they need to flex a little bit. And I think if I was the UK in Syria, if I was Keir and Macron, I would be basically turning the dial on defense spending right up because I think you're going to need it sooner rather than later.
Is Starmer the most disappointing?
I don't even get me started on Starmer and how
He's piss weak.
it is so unbelievably bad, and it's not even policy. So policy's bad enough, and obviously Rachel Reeves just up the winter fuel allowance and all these things. It's like, well, okay, maybe instead of cutting it off or turning it on, like the 2-child threshold and stuff, maybe just taper the fuel allowance. Like if you earn over a certain amount, you don't get the fuel allowance. I think that's enough. Like it's how Albo counted the State Street tax cuts. Like, well, how about we give the poor
I've got
people
another solution.
What?
Nationalize the energy production, and then you don't have to worry about
I
giving
think that
allowances
is,
to anybody.
and I think this is why there's so much pressure on Australia.
As long as you don't have a governor general, you can probably do it.
That's why there's so much pressure on Australia about renewables, because if we own the renewables and we have exclusive access to them, then we can start to nationalise our grid again. And that is why they are going after Chris Bowen like crazy at the moment, because I think that is the plan down the road. But I think with Keir Starmer, I think I don't know, man. They're worried about full sugar soda, and they're worried about soda for soft drink. Let's call it what it fucking is. They're worried about full sugar soda. They're worried about getting rid of trial by jury, and it's like these are the things that like kind of no one cares about. But also, if you're doing that instead of fixing the things that are meant to be fixed, you're just asking for it. And you live in a world where, I mean, imagine if Farage gets the thing. You think Brexit killed England? Wait till Farage gets them.
The Australian version of that is an internet age verification.
I mean, I still think it's crazy that we went down that. I mean, it was an easy way.
Let libs do that.
I mean, you want to talk about the libs being bad faith actors at the moment, right? Over a certain tragedy that happened in Sydney.
This is
Let's not even go down that one. Let's not even go down that one. It is unbelievable, the bad faith campaign on thing, and I can't stand Chris Minns, and I think Chris.
They can't hold a royal commission.
Of course they can't,
because the guy's on trial. They can't hold a royal commission.
Of course they can't. Not until he's done. And then what are the terms? Are we going to look at like if we're gonna have anti-Semitism as the thing? It's like, are we going to talk about Bibi funding Hamas? That's a pretty anti-Semitic action.
Yeah, I have to say, Indigenous people must be watching how the Australian media is behaving right now.
Yeah.
and going, "Where was all your concern about racism with
The
us?
Voice, absolutely. I mean, and this is
We're
what
being murdered every day in Northern Territory in custody and that. Where's
this is what
so suddenly is it because they're rich white
it's the
people?
libs
Like, what the
confected
fuck's going
outrage. The
on?"
libs are the most confected. They are not real human beings. No Liberal Party member is a real human being. And if you say Malcolm Turnbull, I am going to actually fucking punch
I
you.
do like Malcolm
You
Turnbull.
do because you're fucking brain dead. He is the worst of them. He's the I hate his
Oh,
guts so
Aussie Man
much.
Reviews doesn't like
I
that.
hate his guts so much. It pains me how much I hate him. But Chris Minns, I would say Keir Starmer is the worst Labor leader across the globe, but Chris Minns exists, and Chris Minns is the worst Labor leader in the country at the very least. And I mean, but New South Wales is the worst Labor state. It's just Liberal light.
Yeah,
Like
it's
if you want to do the Liberal light thing, New South Wales is a state. It's the rum colony. It's all that same jingoistic bullshit. I can't stand New South Wales politics, and Chris Minns is awful.
Sydney thinks they're special. They think they're better than what Australia. You saw that with the Adam Good stuff. They
Yeah.
thought they were like superior. Yet they're the state that has Alan Jones,
Yeah.
John
John Laws. Yeah.
Kyle
Carl
Candy
Dandelions.
Lance.
Yeah.
They produce the most toxic rubbish in the
Yeah.
entire country. Yet they view themselves as the most enlightened. They're very bizarre.
Yeah, no, and it's Look, I mean, anywhere that has fostered Macquarie Bank is probably not somewhere you want to be. I think that says it enough. But look,
Do you reckon we patted it enough?
look, I think we've padded enough. Like,
Yeah.
I don't-
Anybody just just at 40 odd minutes, just go to the end.
I think you've already said. I think it's too late to add that, isn't it? Like after we've
I'll
already
add that at
ranted.
the start. I'll
But
add
yeah,
that in the description.
moral of the story is, I hope Albo doesn't fold and do a royal commission. I don't think
He's
I think he will.
He will.
I don't-
Because he watches the news. Politicians have got to turn the fucking TV off.
This is what I'm
Don't
saying.
read the news.
Let Sky News set Liberal policy. We don't need Labor policy set by Sky News. Thank you very much. I think I genuinely wouldn't have thought it before this, but I think he was going to do universal childcare, go to the next election, win that one, and then he was going to hand off the reins. I think he does that as soon, basically, once the election hits a year into the term afterwards, he basically hands it off to Chalmers. I don't see a world where he doesn't do it, and I don't know. It's what a time to be alive, right? Like, I'm glad I'm out of draft age, is all I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that convo. We literally
we can't say that. We
we
cannot say
literally
this.
cannot-
on air.
We literally cannot say the next
Cannot
bit.
say
So,
the next bit on it.
but yeah, no. Yeah. Anyway, on that happy, joyous note, thanks for listening to News Game Plus, where we talk about news and games. And
Do we do games in here? Yeah, we padded.
we covered games in a pretty big way, and we just did it in a different order. Usually we do the news for the first 10 minutes, and then people turn off.
I was
or they
excited
fast
about
forward.
the hacking stuff.
Which was
That's
interesting to
pretty
see.
cool
Yeah,
stuff.
you actually did your research on it. You actually looked it up, so that was
I like
nice.
that. I like that stuff.
Well, I mean, you understand it, right? It's your world. It's like, yeah.
Well, it's two of the things I used to love most when I was younger, hacking and trolling, just got so bastardized by media in what the words mean.
The
It
internet
really
got ruined
shit
as
me.
soon as net neutrality was the last knife in the back.
Do you
but
know,
as soon as the normies.
Zoe Quinn once did a presentation, said, "Stop calling it trolling, it's abuse." And I went, I actually agree with her.
Yeah.
because they got to stop calling abuse trolling.
Yeah.
It's trolling is art.
there is a. I mean, and that was
and hacking is too.
Yeah.
Script Kid is annoying. I get
Yeah.
these people trying to hack the servers I manage. But yeah, when you see something like this Mongo bleed, and even the Sony Riki stuff, that's
impressive old
me.
school stuff, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, on that note, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, the weather changes and it's a lot cooler because I don't want to go through this again.
Don't sell your PS5 if you got one.
Yeah, if you've got one, and
Get on
especially if you've got two, like keep one offline and don't update the firmware because there will be people who will be very interested in that. Like any console, I think, and even PS4, like there was a lot of people buying, firmware 4.0s and stuff like that. So.
PSP's had a little market like that.
Oh, yeah,
there was a couple of models you had to avoid, or a couple of the firmware updates you had to avoid. Basically, if you have a spare PS5, put it aside.
Yeah.
And just wait, because there's going to be some really interesting stuff coming, I reckon, in the next 6 months.
Yeah, good advice. And buy silver; it's dipping at the moment, and it's only going to go up.
Silver, he's one of the weakest Sonics. I'd buy Shadow.
Yeah, of course you would. Of course you would.
Shadow,
Nothing personnel, kid.
Shadow's the best.
All right. On that note, thank you very much for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next week.